That was a long topic. We went for a while, so let's get into the other topic here, which probably won't be as long. If you don't know by now, you're probably living under a rock. Nice to meet you, Patrick Starr. Disney Infinity is no more. Disney is stopped being a game publisher. They're now going to be licensing all of their properties to other people to make video games. This is really weird on the surface level because people are like, well, Disney Infinity wasn't that successful. It actually wasn't as successful as you think it was. Not from game sales, from over manufacturing of the actual toys. They had a problem, a Nintendo problem, when Disney Infinity first launched, where they couldn't meet supply for the demand. So I think it was Disney Infinity either 2.0 or 3.0. They actually produced Infinity figures, and to their dismay, they didn't sell. So this is sad. Obviously, a lot of people love Disney Infinity. I wasn't a big Toys to Life guy. I think a lot of the figures are cool, and I want to buy some of them, the Amiibos and the Disney Infinity ones, but not for playing games with them. I think the bigger story here, like Jordan and I were talking about before the show started, was that Disney Interactive is no more, and that they're going to be licensing their stuff. So all of the Disney stuff, all of the Marvel stuff, all of the Star Wars stuff is going to be being licensed out. So what do you guys think about this? Is this a huge thing for Disney? Is this scary for the rest of the Toys to Life games?
Everyone's worried about Lego Dimensions and Skylanders now. I've thought this since Skylanders came out, that Toys to Life is another Rock Band Guitar Hero situation. I think it'll come and go. It's a fad, and I definitely think that parents have to be wising up to this. The fact that they're just like spending out the wazoo for these toys and these, the extra launch pad or whatever you got to get. It's like, just buy a game, just buy your kid a game. It's not worth all the extra crap, and it's very much money grubby. It's obvious that it's a cash grab. That's all these things have ever been. Really.
At least Lego has the Lego brand behind it, and you actually build something. Like, it's actually interactive. I think Lego has it over the other two. Well,
definitely, I would agree.
Yeah.
And then I would say, not only you mentioned the closing of Disney Interactive, which is big, but also Avalanche Studios closing, which is not to be confused with the Avalanche that just released Just Cause 3 and Mad Max last year. That's a totally different studio. But Avalanche and Disney Interactive that have just closed under Disney are very important studios, and Disney Interactive's been around for years and years and years, since like even the 90s. I can remember playing PC games, Mickey Mouse Paint type crap. So it's sad to see them go. It's sad to see Disney just completely jumping out like this, and not even, I mean, sure, they're going to be licensing their stuff out, but it's kind of like Lionhead closing. It's just kind of out of the blue, and very surprising. So
yeah, it sounded like they had their own problems, within their organization. I don't think this is a sign that the whole Toys to Life thing is dying, which I agree with you. It's money grubby and it's stupid, and I'm not, I'm obviously not into it, but I think there's a economic place for it because kids want these things, right? So I think Disney had their own problems inside, just some bad management going on or something. I don't think this is a sign of the whole industry, that whole thing being in trouble at all.
Do you think that Skylanders, like the Skylanders brand, not Spyro, but Skylanders, and not Lego, but Lego Dimension, do you think that's going to be around in 5 or 10 years?
Yeah. Maybe.
I say Lego will. I say Lego Dimensions
I say Lego has a chance, but if we see Skylanders on the shelf in 5 years, I'm going to be amazed.
Yeah, I don't think Skylanders has legs.
Probably in 5 years, they'll still be around. In 10 years, yeah, Skylanders might be gone by then.
Yeah.
It just, and you say parents have to wise up. Man, I've seen plenty of parents when I used to work at Best Buy. They walk in and their kids just like, I want this. The parents don't care. Parents, they're like, okay, I'll buy it for you. What does it do? Cool, whatever. Be quiet. I'll buy it for you.
And I get that, but when your kids got 20 figures, you're talking about like the starter pack with 3 figures, the pad, and the game,
you have no idea.
$100.
There was parents who would go in there with a basket, dude, and like scoop up a shelf. Like, it's insane.
Well, that's messed up. But I'm thinking like for most parents, once they see the trend of, okay, now we've bought the game and the 3 starter figures and the pad, and then they get to 10 figures, and then they get to 20 figures, and then you're like, okay, holy shit, I've spent, $300 on this single video game when I could have bought my kid a whole new console.
And I think it's parent understanding too. Like when I was a kid, my mom would, when I would want a video game, I would say, I want a couple of video games. I want one of these two video games. And I was a pretty smart kid. And she was like, well, which one will last you longer? And I said, well, this one probably. She's like, well, get that one then because it'll last you longer. And I think a lot of parents they don't understand video games like that. I don't think they have conversations with their kids like that. So they don't understand, like, if this video game goes away, those toys are pointless.
Yep.
Well, and they're not like action figures. They're on platforms. If anything, they're collector items to look at. They're not really
statues,
functional toys. If they were functional toys, that's why Lego has the up. They're actual functional toys,
Yeah.
So
this is the business model that like simply works best with kids. I mean, you see it in everything, like even from Happy Meal toys. Like,
well, Pokemon,
it was my prime example that, how do you sell your parents on buying you Silver Edition when you already have Gold?
Yep.
Well, what's the difference, right? Well, there's like 3 or 4 Pokemon that you can't get in this one. It's like...
And that leads you to buy the cards, which then lead you to buy this, which then lead you to buy the... Yeah. I think out of the two, Lego Dimensions has more legs just because, for instance, if a parent's buying their kid Lego, which is... I think Lego's still way too expensive. They're so popular, they shouldn't have to be as expensive as they are. But that's a different story. I think that because they're actual functional toys... I think that they have a way to extend their life as opposed to Skylanders. But who knows? We're not kids, so we're not in the zeitgeist there. But
I'll always be a kid.
I'll always be a kid.
I do want to say something real quick about Disney. I think they said, all right, we lost $150 million. That's a shit ton of money. But for Disney, they're saying,
it's a drop in the bucket.
Let's cut our losses and just get out of here. So they wanted to wash their hands of this. They wanted to drop it, move along, and just kind of forget that it happened.
If anything, this gets me excited for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 being a possible game. All of these like actual there's obviously already Star Wars games in the works. So that doesn't get me surprised. You know what would be awesome? Cuphead, right? Cuphead is awesome art style, cool. Imagine if Disney licensed a Steamboat Willie to that studio to make a Steamboat Willie game. They already have the art style down, That'd be super dope. I would play that, personally.
I was just going to say that, Disney wanted to wipe their hands of this and drop it and act like kind of it never happened. And for a company that big, they can do that. But they burned some people, man. Like, think of, the parents, even if they didn't notice it before, they're definitely going to notice it now when the kid's like, yeah, that game is done and they're not making any new figures and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, wait, what? The thing that we spent $400 on is no longer continuing and this, that, and the other? And, I'm sure they pissed gamers off that they killed off Disney Interactive. I think they thought that it's like, all right, let's cut our losses and move on. But I think people are going to remember this, especially those who invested so much in Disney Infinity because it was an investment.
Yeah, it was dumb for them to invest in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't blame them for doing so, but they should have seen it coming, So that's our talk about Disney Infinity and, Avalanche closing and Disney Interactive and everything. Hopefully all those guys landed jobs elsewhere because obviously they made a great game. It was the figures that kind of did them in, unfortunately. Hey guys, Jared here and thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you really like us, hit that subscribe button so you can be tuned in and updated whenever we upload a new video. If you haven't been following us on Twitter, that's CTRLINT, @Controlled Interests. Thank you guys for watching and see you guys in the next one.